Hello, everybody. Happy Friday! Live on a Friday. This doesn't happen very often. But then neither do the World Championships preview shows happen very often. So we're here. We're live. We're live and we're doing it. We're watching the preview together in about 28 minutes time. Give or take. I'm going to be keeping my eyes on... Twitch looks weird. I don't know why. It just looks strange. Just keeping an eye on it for now. Because they're live at the moment because of the World Championships. They're streaming games. But, you know. There's supposed to be a preview in a minute. So, you know, we shall see what happens. But there we go. As always, guys, before we get into it, I must ask you to please leave a like on the stream, because if you leave a like on the stream, more people will find the stream and they'll come and watch with us, where it's going to be cool. We're going to be chill. We're going to be hopefully excited by what we see, but we might not be. We'll find out. You know, we'll find out together. You never know. It could be a really good preview. It could be a really bad preview. We'll have to find out. So if you could please leave a like on the stream, that would be very kind of you. It is a free way to support the channel. And if you're not already, please do hit that subscribe button. Again, another free way to support the channel. And it's the best thing. It's the best thing in the world to support a YouTube channel. Apart from money. But, you know. Let's see, what are people talking about? Looks like they're going to stream it on YouTube as well as Twitch. Oh dear. So if they've got a YouTube and Twitch thing going, it means it's going to be a pre-recorded nightmare. So we'll see. I hope it's not. I hope they learn their lesson, because the last one was really good. The pre-recorded streams, less good. What do you think the odds of any more MESBG previews are? I think the odds are very low now until the film is out, I would guess, because they don't want to give any spoilers away. I would guess at this point. But throughout December, I'm sure we'll see some more MESBG stuff. Evening, Josh. I hope you're well. How are you getting on with your Tales minis for this month? I'm getting on just about. Just about. I must confess, I haven't quite started on the thing I really want to do, but we'll get to it very, very soon. I've just been really, really busy. Angron's kids need the other half of their army. I think you're going to be disappointed today. I think what we're going to see is what's happening in January, basically. Which is going to probably... I think we're going to see some Krieg today. But it might be that we don't see any Krieg today, and instead we see whatever else is accompanying Fugenra. I just want my Chaos Dwarfs. Again, I think you're going to be disappointed, Chris. Unfortunately, I think we're going to see Empire today. For the old world. Because they've already given us those roadmaps. As terrible as they were, they did tell us what's coming next. Vaguely. Sort of. So yeah, I think we're going to see. I think we're going to see Krieg. I think we're going to see the Empire, and I think we're going to see Orruks for the old Age of Sigmar. And I don't. Well, presumably for Horus Heresy, we're going to see tanks, because they told us we were going to see tanks. So I think we're going to see some tanks. Is what we're going to get. So there it is. You know, if I'm right on all counts, I will be very happy. And also, sorry, spoiler alert. But yeah, I mean, it could be. I could be surprised, and they could just be like, "Here's 40 things you didn't know about." It's very rare that they do that, but you know, we shall see. We shall see in 24 minutes time. I see a lot of people saying they're excited for the Krieg. I'm excited for the Krieg. I'm also excited for the Krieg for another reason. If you don't know who Dark Fantastic Mills are, they make terrain, and it's awesome terrain, and they've been previewing their Kickstarter campaign for trench warfare. Trench zone is what they're called, and it's really, really nice terrain. So I would recommend checking out Dark Fantastic Mills. There's a Kickstarter. If you've got a 3D printer, even better, because at the moment it's just STL files. But I have pledged because I want the files. And then I'm going to find somebody with an FDM printer who can print it for me. Fire-based trench zone. There's 4 hours left to go, but if you haven't already seen this, here you go. Check this Kickstarter out, because if they do announce Krieg, it will pair brilliantly with the fire with the trench zone stuff. It will, guaranteed. It'll look amazing. Horus Heresy Xenos would be cool. Some retro Art Deco Tau or something. That would be cool, but unfortunately, Horus Heresy has always been... Well, towards the end of the last edition of it, they did bring in the rules for demons in the Inferno book, I want to call it. Horus Heresy fans will know more. Yeah. It would be nice to have a Great Crusade version of Horus Heresy, but then you're just really playing 40k. At which point, they should just re-release 7th as, like, retro games. Those are some cool-looking trenches. They are. Honestly. Dark Fantastic Mills, I genuinely believe, make the best terrain I've ever seen. And I've used it a number of times here on the channel. We did some of their... what's it called? I've completely forgotten the name of it. There was a hills thing. That's completely gone out of my head. We did a couple of their houses a while ago, and on my spinny shots at the end of all of my tutorials, the dais that all of my models are on, that's from Dark Fantastic Mills. So yeah, check them out if you haven't already. There's 4 hours left to go in the Kickstarter. I'll honestly be happy if they release a new book about what the Lion is up to. Well, you might see that preview today. Black Library is on the list of things it's going to be previewed today, which is very exciting for Black Library fans everywhere. Is there going to be any Emperor's Children update? I wouldn't bet on it, but I would also not bet against it. They dropped that teaser trailer at the end of the last stream. They've shown off 3 pauldrons now, so you might see a full marine maybe today, or a few more 3D renders of some other stuff. I could see that happening today. Like a 3D render of a sonic weapon or something like that. I could see that being on the way today. I don't think you're gonna see the full range of Emperor's Children for a while. I think the better thing to do is to probably treat Emperor's Children much like when they re-release Sisters, in that you're gonna get 3D renders for the next 6 months, and then maybe around about October time, you'll see the Emperor's Children actually drop. I could be wrong, but they're not going to drop during the summer, and they're not going to be in the next 3 months. So I reckon it'll be towards the end of next year. Will be when we see them. Am I the only person whose Skaven Tide box is untouched? Probably not, Hilbert Gerald. Sometimes I wish mine was untouched. Lord, that was a stressful time. That was daily content for 2 months. But you know. Plastic Custodes, please. from the Forge World range. That would be an interesting announcement today, wouldn't it? I could see maybe actually some more Solar Auxilia or Mechanicum stuff being announced today. Probably more Mechanicum. Because the Mechanicum have only had their first wave, as it were. We just started a Warhammer club at my school. Oh, that's awesome, Ethan. That's awesome. I went to my Warhammer club at school. It started when I was in year 8, I want to say. Chances that they'll spend 10 minutes talking about the Celestine figurine already previewed. Hi. Yeah? could be unreasonably high that they do that. Due to the Legion's Imperialis chat the other day, I have bought more terrain. Manufactorum on the way. I've been thinking, maybe, if I have time in December, because the long nights are closing in, and venturing out of the house to play games becomes harder, I was thinking I might do a couple of videos just painting the truly shocking amount of terrain I have on sprue in my house. The only slight issue with that is at the moment it's really neatly packed. And once you build terrain, it's very large. So it takes up more room than it used to take up once it's fully assembled. But I might do something like that. Just thinking, like, can I get together, like, a 40k, an AOS, a kill team, board together in a couple of days, as it were. Because it would be nice to do that. I already have a lot of painted terrain, but I also have a lot of other terrain that's not painted. May I ask you for your recipe for the base of the lion? I'm struggling to find a right technical paint and right colour. Thanks. For my recipe, for what I did on the right lion... I can certainly look it up. I basically need to see a picture of it, because I can't remember off the top of my head. But I'm guessing it's almost definitely going to be Stirland Mud, dry brush with Tyrant Skull. Oh no, it's not. It's Armageddon Dust. Armageddon Dust. Shaded with Gore Grunter Fur. And then probably dry brushed with Tyrant Skull. Yep. Armageddon Dust, Gore Grunter Fur, then Tyrant Skull is what I did on my video. I have 2 Hivestorm terrain kits, dreading it, running from it, can't hide from it. Yeah. There's a couple other things I need to get for a Hivestorm thing. I want to get another one of those bunker buildings. Well, they call them strong points in that box. I want to be prepared for... What's the other show called? Is it called Brutal and Cunning? Something like that. The one that they previewed with the Rattlings and the Orcs in it. That one had an upgrade set for the Hivestorm kit. So adding like extra walls and stuff, as I understand it. So I'm looking forward to that one, but I want to be prepared for it and just make a really dense kill team board, like a really dense kill team board, where you can barely stand 2 abreast at any time. Hello, Alicia. Where do you watch? Nothing on the Warhammer community page. We will be watching on Twitch. Are we only getting 40k news? No. So we're getting Old World, 40k, AOS, Age of Darkness, and Black Library news today. Hey man, painted at 2,000 points. Skaven army following your tutorials and they look great. Do you have any sewer-based tips or videos? Love the content, mate. Keep it up. I do... Sort of. What I have for you is I have a like a it's a swamp tutorial, swamp bases, and I did it on my gut rippers, and I'll get this one for you because you can see how I did it. There it is. There you go, Jack. That's how we do it. When is the show starting? In 14 minutes time, Jacob. Mr. Josh, you are a legend. Never forget. Thank you, Captain Mannerings. You're a legend too. I needed that. I've been really slow this week. I've been really slow this week. Getting stuff done. And I've been like, another day and I'm going really slow. But things should now speed up as of tonight. So, yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, bro, thank you for your Leviathan Nid colour scheme. Very welcome, Lee. I'm glad I could help. Assembling Deathwing Knights at the moment while listening here. Nice. Nice. How's about that Dark Angels Christmas box that sold out immediately, everybody? We have silhouettes on Warcom, do we? Interesting. Alright, let's go and have a look, shall we? Oh, it's just a big picture. Okay. Apparently... What do we think? I mean, this thing back here looks like a Titan, which would make me very sad. Plastic Warlord. That could be Krieg there. It could also not. It's a very, very big Space Marine Lieutenant. That's a Commissar hat for sure. Where are you seeing a Commissar hat? Oh, there. I was not figuring that out at all. Yeah, that's a Commissar hat, definitely. This is something on a horse, and that doesn't look like... That looks like a las pistol to me. Right there. 30k Angron in the background. Could be. Orruk on the left. I mean, that looks like a Hobgrot to me, in terms of its silhouette. But we'll find out. We shall find out in due course. Okay. I mean, barbed wire everywhere, so, you know. Who knows what this thing is. But yeah. Ceraptic heavy construct in plastic. It could be. Could be. We shall see. We shall see very, very shortly. Let me just check that this is all... This is all lined up, isn't it? Yeah, it looks lined up to me. Despite being horribly pixelated, it's lined up. So we look like we're good to go. So we shall see. Very, very, very shortly. But guys, there's 157 people watching right now. If you could all leave a like on the stream, that would be amazing. And I just missed this from Goblin Horde. Thank you very much for the £2. Is Patreon and YouTube membership a separate thing? They are a separate thing. Yes. But you get broadly the same benefits from either or. Sorry, I missed that. Initially, I was too busy staring at silhouettes. But yeah, the Patreon and YouTube things are two separate entities. You can subscribe to both. I would appreciate both, and you get the same access on either one, right? To things. I was wondering why I wasn't green anymore. Well, it's because we need to get you a membership there, Goblin Horde. So should I see if I can? Should I see if I can snipe you? Shall I give it a go? Let's see what happens. 5 gifted memberships going out. Sleepy Memes, Alicia, Joran, Jan, and George Paints. I'm very sorry. I'm sorry. And Goblin Horde with 5 gifted Warhipster memberships. Incredible scenes. Thank you so much. I appreciate that very much. We're on 417 out of 400. I should really set this to something like 450, and that way we have something to shoot for on the stream. Are we getting full scale heresy, or is there going to be more mini heresy? I think today it's going to be full scale stuff. Why don't Warhammer cooperate with McDonald's? With each Happy Meal comes one nice figure. I wouldn't survive that kind of nice service and not a single week. Well, yeah. Because I think the majority of us here would be like, hey guys, the cheapest way to get a hold of the new Space Marine heroes is to go and get a Happy Meal. It would be incredible for Warhammer. McDonald's, I don't think, would see much of a difference. They wouldn't see much of a bump. No, I'd be fat if they did that. Yeah, I definitely would. I mean, I already am, but you know. Caitlin, thank you very much for the $5. Pretty sure bottom left was leaked not long ago. Reddit, maybe. Hobgrot Slitterboss. I wouldn't know anything about that, Caitlin. Until it is fully previewed by Games Workshop, we don't believe anything is real around here. Because it might be made up. You never know. Goblin Horde, thank you very much for becoming a member, you absolute legend. Hello, Alaric. Oh, no, that's the correct number. 418. There we go. Have you got Kairos Fate Weaver to paint, did I hear you say the other day? Yes. Yes, I do. I have Kairos Fate Weaver to build and paint, and I have Shalaxi Hellbane. I need to buy Rotigus, so I need to buy a Great Unclean one, and then we'll have done all 8, plus Bellicor is 9. We'll have done all 9. I know it was ages ago, but did you like the Callus and Toll animation video? Any videos for those coming, or are you too busy being awesome painting other stuff? Well, thank you very much. I'm going to... Literally, Callus and Toll graduated from the not happening now desk to the happening in the next few weeks desk. So here's 2 of those miniatures. So they're here so that they stay in my eye line, basically. As my next, once I get a week to myself, I will paint them, which should happen tail end of December. Did you see the secret level trailer released today? Definitely real and totally awesome. Yes, I have seen the secret level trailer. It does look awesome. I'm looking forward to that show, not just for the Warhammer one, for everything else as well. Just two more members for 420. Yeah, we are two more memberships away from a comedy number. If anybody wants to see a comedy number and have a little laugh. Has anyone heard of the so-called new paint range coming from GW in dropper bottles? I haven't, but I wouldn't put much stock in that because the pots are massively over-engineered. So I don't think they would throw out all that engineering to go to dropper bottles. But I could be wrong. We'll never know. You never know. Will you ever do more of the old world stuff, specifically Tomb Kings, or did you not vibe with it at all? The Necrosphinx is here. It's there. Again, it's in my eye line area. It left it for a while, but it's there. It also brought with it a Grimhold Exile, who was fully painted anyway. But I did actually clean up Young Grim Iron Fist today. I did do that. So that'll be coming soon, hopefully. Is there an AOS/40k model you absolutely hate and hope to never have to paint? Yeah, clan rats. I hope to never have to paint clan rats ever again in my entire life. That one's easy. Just a quick side note, I discovered you from your black contrast paints comparison on YouTube. This was an absolute game changer for me and really helped my painting. Thanks. Oh, thank you, Benny. I'm glad I could help. Clan rats are best. No, look, this is what my point is. The clan rats are fine. Clan rats are great models. They're really nice. They go together beautifully. They look wonderful. Loads of character. Great amount of detail. But when you paint 40 in one go for one video, about 24 of them of the way in, that's it. You don't ever want to do it again. You know. Right, we're 3 minutes away from the preview starting. I'm going to hit the refresh button and see if anything's happening. Nope, just an advert for Skeleton Crew. Which I won't share with all of you. You don't all need to see an advert for Skeleton Crew. You've probably seen enough of them. I'm surprised it's not an advert for Wicked. Because you just cannot escape that marketing anywhere at the moment. But there we go. Asmodeus, thank you very much for the 5 gifted Warhipster memberships, you bloody legend, you. We're not quite there. We're on 16 new members today. That's amazing. Thank you so much. I looked away from the screen. Oh, I looked away from the screen for 2 seconds. I went to a different window. It's now playing the same advert again. Thanks, Twitch. The adpocalypse begins. None of the wicked marketing mentions it's only part 1. I know. Right. I think we can probably turn off the music because I think it's about to happen. George Alvarez, thank you very much for the 5 gifted Warhipster memberships. I hope I said your name right. Is it George? Pretty sure. Is it George or is it Jorge? If I got it wrong, I do apologise. Oh, come on. No one cares about Skeleton Crew. Right now, we want to see Warhammer. We should. Do we have music? We do. We do have some music. Pridders, thank you so much for the 5 gifted Warhipster memberships. You guys are on fire today. Lick that like button, you bunch of Warhipsters. Captain Manners is not wrong. There's 241 people watching right now. That makes me nervous. Do not swear. But we're at 91 likes already. Incredible. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Come on, World Championships of Warhammer stream. Where are you? Has it started for anyone else? Is it just me that it's lagging behind? Hit the refresh. It has started. There we go. Okay.
40,000, Warhammer the Age of Sigmar, Warhammer the Horus Heresy, Warhammer the Old World, and some stuff from Black Library.
It's going to be stuff you're expecting, stuff you're not expecting. It's going to be very exciting. We're here, of course, this weekend because the World Championships are taking place in Atlanta right now as we speak, as well as the Grand Narrative there as well. Grand Narrative is taking place at Warhammer World here too, and
yes, it is.
You're there this weekend.
I am. I'm somehow here and there.
So you're being
Procraft Data. Thank you very much for the €5. My body is ready for Soulblight. Is anyone's body ready for Soulblight?
Especially, but
and Pridders, thank you very much for the 5. We'll be watching Mr. the Dempsey mainly. Hope you have a good stream. We'll probs watch and catch up to hear your opinions. Oh, we're already going. Here we go. Let's go. What have we got? Krieg! Who saw that coming? The Death Corps of Krieg. Astra Militarum army set. An artillery team seems familiar. Combat engineers seems familiar. Death Riders. Yes. Lord Marshal Dreer. Dreer. Oh wow! Look at that. Command Squad. Heavy Weapons Squad. All in one box? You've got to be joking. Come on now.
The Death Korps of Krieg are back.
They're here. They're finally here.
Yep.
We've teased and hinted.
Just
about
as a
these
question
guys
for the
long
chat,
time, and it's
can
finally
you
time
hear
to
me
Death Korps of
fine
Krieg into
over
the
the
world,
stream?
and
Should I
that's
turn
our
it up or should I
set
turn it
as
down?
well, isn't it? They are a much awaited for and beloved regiment, aren't they?
Yeah,
They
we've
are
had them
absolutely
in the Kill
fantastic.
Team box. We've seen some resin from Forge World,
right.
but now we are getting a whole plethora of releases in plastic.
Yes, alongside the
So
Astra
is this
Militarum
box
Codex, of
just
course, and they'll be the
gonna
first
have
army of 2025. What a way to kick off
5
the
combat
year.
engineers in
Alex,
it.
first of all, before we go any further, who are the Death Korps of Krieg? How do they fit into 1.0?
So, the Death Korps of Krieg are the regiments that are raised on the world of Krieg. Now, Krieg fell into civil war about 500 years ago, and it's never been the same
I'm excited
since.
for this.
The surface is now a blasted, irradiated wasteland, and when the Imperium finally made contact again, they showed up and...
I'm sold
doing
on that
the,
box. I'm
you know,
sold on
most
this box.
Imperium
This
thing
box looks
possible.
amazing.
You owe some tithes.
I nearly bought
and Krieg, instead of saying
2 of the Astra Militarum
Soldier
army
or
boxes. I
one
didn't
regiment,
because I didn't want to have
20
2
regiments.
codexes,
Wow.
right? And I don't have the time to
And,
sit and sell books.
immediately the Department
But,
of Simulatorum went, this is great, took over the world, sort of tuned
I was very
everything up to
excited
11,
by them.
and so now they just pump out all of these fantastic
And the
soldiers.
Krieg,
That's cool. It seems to me like it's a bit
that's
of a war
gonna
of attrition.
that's gonna
and life is a bit cheap,
plug
maybe.
straight into the
Yes,
Astra Militarum.
So, life for them is not necessarily cheap, so they're not part of like a cult of sacrifice necessarily, but they've
Nice
had
to
it
have another new
ingrained,
plastic Astra
indoctrinated into
Militarum
them
army.
since
I
birth
agree.
that they need
This
to,
also gives us
sell
the
their lives
blueprint
in service of
for,
the Emperor in order to gain redemption for their ancestors.
it gives us the
Now, the
blueprint for
armies
what
of
they might
Krieg
do for
are
something
a
like
great
Mordian
representation
or
of the armies of
Catachan or
Krieg.
something.
Militarum, of course, regiments upon regiments of infantry, backed up by huge guns.
I
artillery,
just love guard
of
regiments
course,
with loads
the
of
Rolling Thunder
infantry.
that
I
is
know
the
tanks are
Militarum
cool,
tanks,
but
and there's all that
floods of
embedded
infantry is
inside
just my
the, new
favourite.
codex as well. Right, but let's take a look at some of the new miniatures we've just
Let's
seen
do
in
it.
the new army set. And up first, these are incredible. These are the Death Riders.
Death Riders.
Now available
Yeah.
in plastic. Who are these guys, Alex?
So these guys, the riders tend to be a little more free thinking than your average Krieg soldier. They're given a little bit more freedom in order to operate. It's from their ranks that most of the officers.
I like them.
are
I like them a
taken.
lot.
Now you'll notice here the
I like
Krieg
them a lot,
steeds
a
they're
lot, a
on
lot.
look very much like horses.
Yeah.
The guy
With
with the
a
Lego
deceptive
hair.
a bit
What,
weird,
me?
aren't
So they essentially roll off a production line. They're
Or
given
on the
subdermal
stream.
armor. They're given rebreathers. And you can see there at the end of their legs, they're not hooves, they're claws. So they're a product of Krieg, whereby life is a little bit cheaper than the tank. Therefore, we've got a mount, and it's got claws so that it can get over any kind of rubble or debris.
They're
or
so
whatever it is in
nice.
the way.
I mean,
These guys,
as you guys
they-
know,
they're
I
like
hate
the
painting
scouts,
cavalry
they're
because it
shock
feels
troops,
like 5
really
models, but
pack
it's
a punch.
actually 10.
How do they play?
On the
But
table
they're
there,
really
we've
nice
got
cavalry
unit,
models.
they've got utility units. So the Rough Riders with Tiller we've seen before are just there to punch into a unit as hard as they possibly can. But these guys have quite a bit more flexibility in there. They've got las carbines as assault weapons they can all
That's
carry,
nice.
and they have the screening line rule, which lets
That's
them
very,
move
very, very nice.
after enemies have moved as well to protect.
Good
their
evening,
lines,
Dan
and they
Robbo.
can
Thank you very
drop
much for
down
being a
into
member for
combat. Every single one of
16
them carries
months.
a power saber, which is really cool.
16 months,
And they
unbelievable.
therefore protracted combat, so you can charge them in and lead them against
That
infantry
mark on
units
the
rather than
horse
just try and
transfer,
destroy them in
hand
one hit, which is
painted.
nice.
I think it's
lots
probably
of different uses
sculpted.
for them.
Looks like a
Speed,
brand
combat,
to me.
works. Just
There's a
great
lip
ones.
on
And
it.
what's nice as well is the steed's claws actually have nice rules. It's got AP1 on the claws for the steed. Sharper than a space.
Can't
Marine
wait for the
combat
guy.
blade,
Josh
which
will
is great.
mastercraft these
These are
models for us.
fantastic. I love the
I will
fact
do
that
my
you talk about
best.
their
If they send them
following
to
along
me,
the production line.
I will do my
Steeds,
best to have
it's
them
just
done day
terrifying.
one.
They're not given names.
Have they done
They're
AOS
given
yet? I just got
serial
here.
numbers.
No, this is the
That's
first thing.
awful.
Very first
40k
thing.
is great. On to the next model. Now, big guns never tire in 40k, and it's certainly
Indeed.
true in the Krieg forces. These are the artillery teams.
There we go.
Huge
Sandbags.
guns, even bigger than the field ordnance we've
Also,
seen before. Tell me more about the siege
field
artillery
ordnance
of the
battery.
Krieg's forces.
Krieg
Who'd have
tends to
seen that
specialise,
coming?
as we said, in siege warfare. And, if you're trying to attack a bunker or a fortress or anything,
That's a very,
you
very,
need
very
something that
nice
is going to
gun.
smash apart the walls. So you
I
can
hope
charge it.
they
This is
do
exactly what these things do.
The
Now, there's a
Basilisk
couple of different
Earthshaker
weapon options
cannon
for these.
emplacement.
So yeah, there are 4 weapon options for the
Oh,
artillery
here we
teams.
go.
Here we've got the heavy mortars, ideally for just smashing heavy infantry away. The quad launchers are there for massed infantry. The multiple rocket launcher takes out tough infantry because it's anti-infantry 3+. And my favourite, the
Yes!
Siege cannon, which is just a devastating explosive charge.
That's the one we want.
3 shots. Now,
Love a
these are
big
very
cannon,
accurate,
me.
But when they hit hard, which is great. It's nice to have these miniatures at the back of the battlefield. And of course, that
I love
is
those
huge.
so
It's
much.
on a 130mm round base, which is monstrous. It's a nice little diorama.
Oh, I'm
for
so
your forces as
excited
well.
now.
Really cool little bit of equipment and stuff at the back as well. It's a really nice little modelling project. And I hope you like painting sandbags. Up next, we've got the Krieg Combat Engineers, Alex.
Shotguns.
Now, these guys look like they're running forwards, which isn't ideal for guardsmen normally.
No, typically a guardsman wants to be on a gun line with a lot of his mates.
Yeah.
But really,
Why they weren't
these
sculpted
guys,
cannon
their
like the
duty is
Great
to go
Gustav?
forward, to dig trenches, to
'Cause it
clear
would be
wires, to
enormous,
clear
but-
landmines. It's a really thankless job. But they've got a little bit more armor and they're equipped for close quarters fighting.
I'm
So
very,
they've got
very
flamers
excited for
and
this.
shotguns and swords and lots of trench
They look
points.
sick.
Yeah, they are. They're pretty tasty in a fight, these guys. They've
So what's
also
gonna
got
happen with the
scout rule
veteran
that can
guardsman
the game
set?
begins to get
Do you
further
have to
forward.
buy, like,
the
10 of them?
Grenadiers rule lets them have the grenades stratagem for free. Here we can see
Ugh.
this little remote mine, which is a really
Grenade
cool little
stratagem for
attack
free?
that one of the guys over the controller just sends out, doing mortal damage to nearby units, which is just a cool little model and probably going to be everyone's favourite.
It's
Probably,
very cool.
isn't it? Let's be honest. What a great set that is. But leading them all into battle is the famed Lord Marshal Dreer.
Yeah.
What a model. this
Dreer.
is.
I got it right
Marshal
first time.
Varn Dreer. Basically, he's achieved his position entirely through merit, as you'd expect from the
That's a
Death Corps
very,
Krieg.
very,
But
very,
he leads
very
from the
pretty
front.
model.
This isn't a general that stands at the back and orders his troops forward. This guy is going to be in
I like
the thick
it.
of the fighting. His mount,
It's like Solar
ES819,
Leontus,
I said
but
earlier,
better
they've
in
all
every
got
way, shape, or
numbers,
form.
Not names, has fallen several times in battle, and the Lord Marshal insists that it is repaired and returned to him.
It's very good. It's
Repaired
very
rather than
pretty.
just
Yes.
healed. I love it.
And so this has created this kind of myth about them that they are indestructible.
That horse flesh is a very
You know,
interesting
Dreer
colour.
is well aware that that's not actually the case.
Well, it's a nice little bit of narrative here comes in the gameplay, because this myth about him
think
being
I know how I'll
indestructible,
do
actually,
it.
he has a rule called tough to kill, whereby, like my Lord and Saviour Ruta Guilliman,
Lord
he can come back
Hairdreer.
after he's been killed, or maybe.
Yes.
But he's particularly tough to get rid of, which is nice when the sort of the narrative marries up with the rules on the table. And his sword there is the Sabre of Sacrifice.
Sabre of
A
Sacrifice.
very devastating sword.
It's
So
a
he's
great
an
name.
inspirational leader for your forces. Don't run away when he's nearby, and can lead Death Riders.
They let
units
the
into
cities of
fray as well,
Sigmar
which
team
is just
sculpt
great.
these. 100% they
Devastating
did.
wounds on a charge to a unit of Death Riders, which is really cool.
It
We've
looks like
mentioned
in
it's
this
just a
box,
stunning model. That
you're
base in
getting
particular,
Dreer,
I can see this being
10 Death
one of
Riders,
many golden
5
entries.
engineers, and a
you're
big
absolutely
cannon,
right, aren't you?
which is
Can't
a
wait to see those.
very
Right.
weird combination
But
of
also
stuff.
other stuff coming alongside Death Corps of Krieg. Now, of course, we've got the Astra Militarum Codex here. Now,
But there we
we
go.
talked a lot about the Krieg stuff, but of course, the Astra Militarum Codex will deal with the entire forces, the Cadians and other forces. It mentions all the regiments
Yeah.
of the Astra Militarum in there as well. Just like any other codex, you can expect to see the backgrounds of the regiments, the fighting units, the
Astra
rules for all
Militarum,
those, the
man.
history of its most important
They're so
conflicts it's fought
compelling.
through in the past.
I do love them.
And, excitingly enough, there's a brand new combat patrol as well called Drayden's Lance, which sees Rough Riders of Attila charging into battle, backed up by Kazakh
Okay.
command squad, which is
Yeah,
great.
this is an incredibly flexible combat patrol. As you
Okay.
said, those Rough Riders give you a huge amount of
Painting
speed.
the
and
Rough
Kazakh
Riders
form a
does
really nice
nearly
solid
drove
sense.
me
It's a
insane
really nice
last
start
time.
for an army as well. If you're thinking about starting Astra Militarum, don't forget the current Astra
But it
Militarum
would be nice to
control
get
is
it,
still good to use as
'cause it would
well.
give
So
me
don't worry about
15
that.
of them and
of
20
course, the
Kazakh.
codex will see every
I need to
rule
paint
for
my
every
Kazakh
unit,
in.
counter, and vehicle. We already know some really exciting stuff about how units are changing. The tank commanders, for example, a Lemurus tank commander
Interesting.
and a Rogel Dawn tank commander are separate things now, so they can have different their own
Rogel Dawn
rules.
tank commander.
And the detachments in there are 5 different detachments for the Astra Militarum, depending on how you want to fight. For a combined arms regiment, you've got a siege regiment for your big guns, the mechanized assault for jumping out of tanks.
This will be the second
Paladin of the
year
Emperor
that we
is just
kick off.
all
Not in a row.
tanks.
It's the second year
Has a
that
really
we
nice
kick off
stratagem
the
where your
year with
tanks
a
will
load
just
of
roll
Astra
through terrain
Militarum,
like it
I
wasn't
think.
there. And last
Which
of-
is very fun. Oh. Have I died? Am I still live? Is it them who's gone? I'm live. Okay.
A crew of murderous pirates is
Skeleton crew. They needed to play a skeleton crew ad. I'm still live. Okay. Just Twitch has gone funny. Stop trying to get me to watch Sodding Skeleton Crew. Again, at least it's not Wicked. Oh, it's just fully died. Okay. The YouTube stream is working, you're saying? Okay. I'm not sure how good that would be, but there we go.
It's sort of the opposite way around. So they have a habit of not necessarily expending their lives needlessly, but perhaps a little bit more enthusiastically than other regiments. And so the commissars are often there to hold them back.
I got YouTube up.
Also got the alchemist, who allows basically the entire unit to resist toxins because he's a chemical warfare specialist.
That's really nice. It's their version of a medic, basically, that guy there, as well as all your veterans in there, and maybe my favourite Servo Skull in Warhammer 40,000, the Servo Skull pair, who are there to keep note of everything with a little inkwell and pen.
That's it. You know this is a note to last because he's got the second Servo Skull, making sure it never touches the ground.
Super important. Yeah. Also coming alongside is the Heavy Weapons Squad. Of course, we've seen the Cadian Heavy Weapons Squad before. This is the Krieg version with slightly different weapons, actually. There's 3 different weapon options here. We've got the twin-linked stubber. We've got the big old las cannon. You'll have seen
it looks like we're
before,
back up on YouTube.
Plenty of different ways.
I think we're all good.
But exciting enough is the huge Krieg Heavy Flamer as well.
Oh, that's a nice skin
just
for the
looks
Krieg.
Great.
That's it. You don't really think
nice
of having a heavy flamer as part of a weapons team like this, but as you can imagine, say you took one in a squad, it's that guaranteed Overwatch success.
I mean, take 3 in a squad, Alex, if you wanted to. Why not? These are range 18, strength 5, AP 1, damage 2
range
flamers.
18.
Oh, that's absolutely devastating. Don't charge them, whatever you do. Really cool to see those. And there we go. That is all the new models coming for the Death Korps of Krieg, which is exciting. But there's more stuff coming in the festive period.
There is. So throughout December, on the Warhammer community website, there's going to be a series of downloads available, which are detachments for Warhammer 40,000 as some kind of Grotmas calendar.
Happy Grotmas, everybody. Throughout December, we're releasing 30 different downloads for Warhammer 40,000, all match play legal, all game legal. You can use them wherever you want to at all. And there's some really exciting stuff in there.
There's less bookkeeping in this edition of Warhammer 40k.
Is on the way. Deathwatch
simplified, not simple.
Ways that you can use your kill teams that you have in their new index coming, and also Chaos Demon players can be excited too. There's 4 detachments coming for them, 1 for each of the Chaos powers. What's really nice is that they've been future-proofed too. So we've just seen the Astra Militarum is getting their new codex soon. But their Astra Militarum detachment they're getting during the Grotmas calendar is still legal once that book comes out too. So yeah.
So when you get your new codex, you can still continue to use these.
Absolutely, it's really cool, isn't it? Nice to see. Right, we're going to leave one before you.
Give us more models.
And we're going to head off to the old world.
Old world. It's the Empire. Who saw that coming? Might just turn stream down just a little bit. Ayo. Ayo. Griff Knights. Were they all new plastics, or?
Yes, the Empire of Man returns to the old world, a much beloved army for the old world, and here it is with a whole swathe of releases. This is a really exciting one.
There is a huge number of kits coming back for this, and one of the best things about it is that this means you can field a whole Empire army entirely in plastic.
That is great. It's a really cool thing to see. Many people who've played with Empire in the past will recognise a few of these miniatures, if not all of them. It's just great to see them back on the table again. But for now, who
are they
the
new?
Man at
Which
this
ones are
point
new
in the old world, Alex?
So for about 1,000 years, the Empire has basically been state of
That's
disarray.
the question.
And after the time of the three emperors, we've had the vampire wars, and finally, there's now about
the Griffin
4
is the old
factions.
kit. Yeah, the Griffin's
They're
old.
not in a civil war outright, but towns change hands and the occasional skirmish happens.
The Demi-Griffinites
so not
look like the old
everything is,
ones as well.
particularly peaceful.
Empire armies are made up of professional soldiers. There are blocks of state troops, missile troops, artillery, cavalry, and of course
These are all the
fantastic
old
monsters
ones.
and war machines too. They're such a fun army to have, and we're going to see loads of old favourites coming back, including the state troops, the missile troops, the pistoliers, the knights, Demi-Griff knights, and of course more exotic things like the steam tank, the general on Griffin, and the war altar are all coming back as well, which is really cool. We've got some metal kits coming back as well.
They're all the old ones.
Remember the Grand Masters of the Knightly Orders from the past? I painted the Knights Panther when I was young. They're coming back.
We go.
Warrior priests, Tuchin Guard are on the way as well, which is nice to see. There's a strong Middenheim theme for this force this time around. We've got the made to order stuff with the classic Empire engineers, battle standard bearer, general.
It's a bit of a shame.
The
None of it's
Commander
new
on Pegasus
by the looks
is
of
coming
things.
back, flying in from the 90s. Some real classics. We're also going to see the Imperial Ogres coming back. Now, these predate even my Empire army. Great to see these coming back from the past.
They never went
This
away.
guy, this is one
Exactly,
with
they're
the
not that.
hand cannon, but there's also going to be.
They've only been off sale
Yeah,
for
yeah,
like
there's
6
two options.
months.
Literally a hand cannon this guy's carrying. But, Alex, let's talk about the star of the show. It is, of course,
The war wagon.
the War Wagon is making its appearance back in the old world after not being available for some 25 years. It's just great to see.
There you go.
Now, this is a Forge World resin kit. It's actually a Forge World remaster. They've taken the original kit,
There you go.
remastered it up, sharpened up a lot of the points, made the detail crisper. They've re-sculpted the horses at the front.
Old
Those are
world,
brand
man.
new. And this chap here is the engineer that accompanies them. He's a brand new model as well.
There you
But
go.
it's just
That's
great.
the new
Now,
one.
I'm right thinking there's lots of strange weapons on top of the guys in that little couple, right?
Yes, there is. So these sort of things fell out of fashion in the Empire. But then when Nuln came along and decided to deploy an entire fleet of them, everybody wanted a piece of the action.
You've got in there the man catcher, you've got the bomb
I mean, it's,
launcher,
like I
the
said,
Hoplon
it's
long
nice to
rifle,
see
and
it back.
the Peter
It
gun,
is
the
nice to
Hulk
see
Helmet
it
in there
back.
as well.
It's just,
all the
you know,
experimental weapons together in one place. Just in
it's
case
not
one
exactly
explodes.
like
which is nice to see.
it's not
A
the
great
old
new
world
show,
that we
add
thought
to
it
your
was going to be.
collection, very soon for the old world. Wonderful to see. And
Is
of
the
course,
problem
alongside
so far.
all the releases, we have the Arcane Journal for the Empire of Man. And naturally, it's got all the history of the Empire, the city-states, the geography, uniform guides in there. There's a historical refight in there. where you can fight a battle against the Beastmen. And new armies of infamy in there as
Can
well.
you imagine
There
what
are
people have been
indeed. So
paying
you
for
can,
these
we've
on
got
eBay for these?
Nuln
Well,
Gunline
yeah.
there. And there's also, you can field any of the knightly orders.
They each have their own special rules, which is nice.
Yes.
Yeah, so you have a Knights Panther army, a Blazing Sun army, which is really cool.
It's very strange.
and
If
there's
I
some
don't
special
focus
characters
on
too.
There
this,
are indeed. So
it
we've
goes
got
away.
Harold Gemmenson,
what I just learnt.
Grandmaster of the Knights Panther, and General Hans
They're
von
being
Lundbeck.
lazy with old
Now,
world.
we're not
I
going to show you
think
pictures
they're.
of them yet.
I don't think they're being
Very
lazy.
lovely,
I think they're
guarantee
being
you this,
risk
but make sure you
averse
keep your eye on the
with old world.
website for more information on those.
It
very
has to
soon.
justify
There's
its
also a
existence
slew
by
of
selling
new
models,
units we've never
basically.
seen before in the Imperial Army,
And rather
for
than
Warhammer
designing the
World.
entire
So,
range of each
yeah,
faction
exciting times.
completely
Keep your
new,
eyes on that, and
then no one buys it,
Arcane Journal. when
it's better to do
available.
it this way
Now,
because
from
you
one old
see
world to another, we're going to the Horus
you
Heresy.
see basically what happens. Horus Heresy. Oh my. Solar Auxilia. The Malcador Infernus. The Valdor Tank Destroyer. Very nice. And the Arbus Lighter. Ethon Heavy Sentinels. Oh. Hang on, didn't the Derriday already get released? I thought it already did. Or am I imagining things? Upgrade kit, probably. Yeah, it looked like it. Extra weapons. It must just be a weapon upgrade kit for the Horus
So
Heresy,
the
for the
Harvest Lighter
Derriday.
returns, the little pig that could fly.
What a great kit, and beloved by Horus Heresy.
Tanks
fans.
confirmed.
Wonderful to see. Actually,
We've been
very
100% correct so
really
far
cool
on
for the first
our
time in this
on our
scale.
predictions.
Why is it so beloved, Alex?
So typically when the army wants to deploy something, they've got these massive landers. However, if you just want to bring, some bullets, some fuel, a squad, the Harvest Lighter is basically the workhorse of the Divisio Aeronautica.
I remember using them in Aeronautica Imperialis.
He does have Lego-esque hair
too, but it's nice to see them here. They are a cheap transport flyer for your armies of heresy. They can transport 12.
Those are weird-looking plastic custodies for Horus Heresy.
20 inches, which is fast. So ideal. For
unfortunately, it doesn't look like that is going to happen now.
To get a special unit out of combat as soon as they need to.
But they were correct in their tanks
nice as well
preview.
The new model's got this chap in the back, modelled to be firing a huge laser cannon out the back as well.
That's it, and he's modelled directly
big.
in.
I've seen bigger in the Krieg range.
It's a lovely little bit of character to the model.
It's really nice, and also I'm told that there'll be rules for that on the way soon as well, which is cool too. Great to have that in the game.
It'd be strange if there wasn't.
A couple of tanks, always fun for Heresy. This is the Valdor Tank Destroyer. That might be one of the biggest guns I've ever seen. Tell me more about this thing.
So these are.
It's certainly one of the guns of all time.
And
certainly looks a certain way.
Of
Jake Stones just got gifted a membership. Excellent timing. Actually, just found your channel recently and have been painting Kyria Draxus from your video. Been fun experimenting with contrast paints.
At this point,
that's awesome, Jake.
A lot more variants.
That's a blast from a past that video. I'm glad it helped. Glad you're enjoying it, and welcome to the channel.
These are basically
glad to have
replicas of a Dark Age relic, so they're incredibly powerful. And in order to power it, they've in fact had to remove the front sponson to fit
that las cannon wasn't mounted to anything.
Yeah,
no, it didn't look like it was it?
Heresy weapons are called things like a neutron beam laser.
Mr. ADR Wargaming with 10 gifted Warhipster memberships.
Strength 10, concussive 3, AP 1.
Thank you so much.
And the whole tank is armor 13 all round.
We do like memberships.
Don't get into a tank fight with one of these.
We do like memberships
also
around
on the
here.
Malcador frame.
Thank you so much, Adam.
Infernus, and this one. It maybe has a different speciality.
Yeah, so we've gone from heavily anti-tank to heavily anti-tank.
This tank I like because it has its little
massive flame weapon on the front. The
little trailer.
On the back contains a mixture or a series of fuels that have yet to be mixed that are pumped just behind the turret.
It looks so dumb, and it takes up so much space on the board.
Almost certainly not.
But it is lovely.
It's going to be sort of saving fuel, isn't it? That's going to be the way to do it. Yeah, it's not about safety at all. I love the fact
my
it's got
question
flamers on the sponsors
for the Horus Heresy team is where is my plastic Cestus assault ram?
Huge Infernus,
because that's what I really want. I love that.
Uses the
Hellstorm
flyer. Template.
It looks
that
terrible,
gigantic,
but I love it.
Template. Yeah. That thing is like 18 inches long, and it's strength 8. This flamer, so yeah, it just burns infantry alive. Don't get near it. So up next, we've also got the new Doridio Dreadnought. This is the Boreas configuration. It's even more Covenant guns than any other Doridio Dreadnought has been before.
That's it. So basically, the Doridio is a
I feel like 30k stuff should be simpler in design, but somehow it's worse than 40k on the details.
Some of the features.
And
early on in the Heresy, it was, not necessarily
it should be simpler.
It
should be more elegant.
Facing Legiones
and
Astartes, and you need to bring as much
blocky
firepower as possible.
And at times it is, and then other times it's like,
just a
why is there just so much?
It's so unsubtle. Yeah, it's got guns and really big ones too. The Boreas configuration has these air defense missiles.
Evening, what have I missed? 4 of them. So far, Popsicle. Good evening. You've missed the Death Korps of Krieg.
Also have the choice of carrying Volt type Falconets, which have the
got a very, very lovely range of
heavy las cannon
models. They look amazing.
Which just blows tanks away. So really,
couple of
big
tanks,
guns on a
flyer,
really tough
this guy,
2+ save walking platform.
And whatever the last thing was that I've now forgotten.
Get one of those in your force.
Comes alongside 2 weapons kits.
Of course.
There was something
so if
else.
you've already got a Doridio Dreadnought and you want to upgrade it.
Doridio. The Empire. The Empire for Old World.
And if you've got one of these and you want to convert it back, there's another one.
That's great. That means you can have real versatility in your modelling kits, and you can really take to battle the one you want to use. That's fantastic. Right, let's move from the Horus Heresy.
If that's how you're supposed to say it, then fine. There you go. Age of Sigmar. They're showing it right now, Lanoob Pona. Interesting. No! Endless spells. Magical manifestations. Scare Gob Totem. Hobgrot Slitter Boss. Iron Jaws Big Mob Spearhead. There you go. The Iron Jaws Spearhead is on the way.
Wow, the Orruk War Clans are here for the Mortal Realms, the brand new battle tone, cool new models, and lots of other things we'll have a look at in a second as well. What's nice here,
I'm 4 out of 4.
Have taken the chance to separate the factions out. So in that
the
book,
Pontoon
the Cruel Boys and the Iron Jaws are 2 separate factions, essentially 2 different armies that share a couple of things in common throughout the book as well, which is nice. And up first, part of that is this new boss towers we can see here as well. This is the new faction terrain for the Orruks. It's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he's very cool. So
they
this
look
is the
great.
Gob Totem. So this is the Cruel Boys version of this.
I love that.
Whereby they'll put these up around their territories to indicate, this is mine, not yours. They
That looks amazing.
Sort of whispering, because it's not just a little watchtower. This is
That's
wrapped
very,
up
very
in winds
cool.
of magic. And say an enemy army is approaching, they'll hear these whispers.
AOS does it again.
They might get lost in the fog, or you could put a boss up there. You can amplify everything.
You can put a boss up in both of these towers, but they become a shouting
Show us the other
boss. And they have various rules that go alongside them. Let's have a look at the Iron Jaws version. This is the Boss Rock Tower.
Now that I really like.
They've built a huge tower here, but a bit less subtle, perhaps.
Yes, whereby the
really
Crawl
like
Boys
that
might
one.
have a bit of thought, a bit of planning, because they're the Morky element. The Iron Jaws are
very,
the Gorky
very, very
element,
pretty.
and this is where basically the War
Very,
Chapter has
very pretty
found
indeed.
a rock he really likes, or
Also,
is saturated in war energy.
Black Legion for the skull.
Rather
Highlight
than
the Dawnstone. That's what
Watchtower
they've done there.
necessarily, the boss can go up here and can literally bully the winds of magic.
He does, yeah.
Tesseract glow in those little veins.
Yes, the aggressively
Easy.
bossy rule to literally boss around the enemy army, which is really nice as well. So faction train coming with the Orruks very soon.
Is that
It's
a
really
drummer or a
cool.
flyboy?
Also,
That's a
we
drummer.
have the new manifestations here as well. These are the
They
endless
look
spells
great.
used by the Orruk Warclans. Both the Cruel Boys and the Iron Jaws wizards can use these. And of course, on the right-hand side, it's the Foot of Gork, a
There it
famous
is.
and beloved spell from the background of Warhammer
the
here.
footprint and
that
the
literally stomps around the enemy army, causing devastation, which is great. The Gork Roarer there, it's got the skull with the mists coming out of it, conjured by wizards to aid them
Brilliant.
in their magical spells, but
Absolutely
potential
brilliant.
risk that their head could explode if they imbibe too much of this, the magical smoke.
Very orky.
Very orky, yeah.
I'm surprised they're
Spit
getting this
Marsh
much,
is
the
the
Orruks,
last
to be
one here,
honest.
and this transforms the land into a squelching swamp, which if enemy units go anywhere near or, heaven forbid, through, they could be in real trouble. So that's really nice to see new sort of manifestations for the faction. Of course, we've also got the new
Nice.
spearhead coming for the Iron Jaws as well. You've been asking for it, and here it is.
That's very good.
Every time I run an event, someone asks when this one's coming along.
yes.
And it's right now. A bunch of Iron Jaws there, led by a mega boss. You've got 2 units of Ard Boys, 5 apiece, a unit of 3 Brute Ragers, and 5 Brutes for a seriously hitty spearhead.
That's it. You've got 4 units of infantry.
Okay.
They've got to
So
take a
now
long
I know
time
what
get
we
across
need to
the
do
table.
Really
to
are. Well, you think that, but the Mighty Destroyer
Project Spearhead it.
lets them move in
need
any
the
hero
brutes.
phase. So they're
10
coming at you
more
in your turn, which is terrifying.
Ard Boys
Also,
and
the game
the
of
boss.
Spearhead lets them be quite manoeuvrable, which is always a bonus, but not that they think about objectives when it comes to a game of Spearhead. Of course, don't forget the old Spearhead is still legal to use. There'll be a Crawl Boys one there. The Fire and Jade book still has those in, so you can still use that. There's another new miniature coming here, Alex, the Grot Slitter Boss.
Yes.
What a cool model, this guy. Tell me about that sword. Why is it dripping in whatever that looks like?
What's going on with the left
these
one's
guys
face?
basically lead the Hobgrot companies, and so they get the best gubbins, the best weapons, the best scrap, all of that, and they'll tend to grab the biggest
I have-
weapon. 'cause
it's
obviously that
20
means you're
Ard
the
Boys
best,
apparently in
and
that
they'll
spearhead.
slather it in various toxins and stuff,
Nice.
just to guarantee that they win.
This is
Eye
a
patch
really
head
nice
is
rule
much
that ties
better.
in with that called Toxic Stash, where once per battle it's got a chance of outright killing an enemy hero on a lucky dice roll, which is really cool. So that's coming to lead your Hobgrots. And also we've got the new Battle Tome, of course, which has everything you've come to expect
Here we
from
go.
a Mortal Realms Battle Tome, all the history of the factions, that
Oh, that's a
carries their
nice
famous
cover art.
battles, lots of information on their battle traits, formations, that sort of thing.
Saves
All
of
the rules
Darkness is
you'll need.
imminent.
The Path to Glory
It's
rules
tomorrow,
are in there too,
I think.
and split
that
between
right?
Iron Jaws and Crawl Boys, so you can choose which way you want to
Goes
go.
on pre-order tomorrow,
And
I
there's some
think.
really nice bits in here as well. One of the armies of renown is the Big War. Previously, you were able to mix all your Orruks together.
Yeah.
Now you can with that army of renown, and that lets you use.
There
all
you
those together,
go.
but has
It's
specific battle
back.
traits, specific enhancements, that sort of thing there as well. My
As an
favourite
army of
regiment
renown.
is called the
That's
Hurt
all I
Orruks.
wanted. There we go.
Bring all
That's
the
great.
swine.
Well, the swine have more grunters in any of the destruction armies as well, which is just really good fun.
That's great.
So there we go. That is the new Orruk Warclans coming very soon, and of course we've got something else coming now as well. This is the new Path to Glory book, Alex.
Indeed. So this
Oh.
is Ravaged Coast, and we've previously fought in Hellcrown
Okay.
along the Ravaged Coast, which is basically that region in between the Nor and the rest of Akshi. We've been fighting in Embergard, and we're right here in Hell's Claw, slap bang in the centre there. And this is basically a ruined city, previously Cornate, then Sigmarite, and now
Where's the-
up for grabs.
Oh, there's Hell's
And all
Claw.
4 factions are basically trying
That
to
was where they did the-
dig it up, take the
Hellcrown
Emberstone, and
campaign.
control this very important territory.
Path of Glory, of course, is a way of playing narrative games where you follow your heroes through a path.
No, I
of
like it. I like
quests
that
and
they've
many
put it
special
into a separate
enhancements,
book.
all written into this book.
That's
It's a very
good.
different
That's a good
and
thing.
fun way of playing Warhammer Age of Sigmar if you're just used to
You
playing
get your
match
Path to
play.
Glory stuff in
Highly
each of the
recommended,
battle
and
tomes,
this book is
but to get
chock
a
full of
specific
background
book
bits
for
and
running
pieces
it,
for you to play
that's
your games
great.
at home as well. The Anvil of Apotheosis is in there as well, lets you create your own heroes, and the book actually contains some examples of converted heroes that people have done too, which is really nice to see. So really lets you stretch your hobby muscles as well. Yeah. It's a nice different way of playing the game.
That's great.
Now, we've seen the Warhammer 40,000 getting their Grotmas calendar earlier on. Warhammer Age of Sigmar fans will have a similar sort of thing too, as they are going to be getting some holiday downloads too. There's 8 regiments of renown on the way. Again, these will be match play legal. You can use them in your games.
8 regiments of renown.
2 per Grand Alliance, which is nice. And a regiment of renown is a really nice way of adding other models from different factions into your army.
Yeah, so that's a different flavour.
You're getting 8 regiments of renown, but 40k is getting 30 detachments.
For Warhammer Age of Sigmar, which is cool. But that's not all for the Mortal Realms.
Nope.
We've got even more coming.
Wasn't expecting this. That looks like a Saurus. Seraphon. No, I was wrong. Ooh. Oh, very cool. That thing's insane. I like it. Battletome Gloomspite Gitz Launch Edition. It's coming in a box. That's very, 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 very cool. Now that's a Gloomspite Gitz army I can get behind.
Yes, well, we've seen the Orruk war clans, but now their shorter, meaner-spirited cousins are on the way.
Yes.
This is the new Gloomspite Gitz coming to the Mortal Realms.
I'm into it.
And
I'm
leading
into
the
it.
way are the Git mobs, who are these... Well, it looks like Grot's riding giant wolves. Alex, who are these guys?
That's pretty much it. So previously we've been all about the moon
nice.
but now the Git mobs are getting their time in the sun. No pun intended. And basically they hate Glareface Frazzle Git. So this is the light of Hish. Hish and Orgu basically provide the night and day cycle in the realms. However, the light of Hish has their beady little eyes. And so they've decided that they're going to take it down. And so these guys wear loads of shiny weapons and armour, and that absorbs the light of Hish, hopefully weakening their mortal enemy.
They also use it as a weapon as well, don't they, to against their foes? We'll see that in a second.
That's brilliant.
Some wonderful miniatures on the way. I wanted to just re-emphasise, by the way, that the MoonClan stuff is still in this book. It is still 100% good to you, so don't worry, MoonClan fans, are still involved. But the Gitmob stuff, let's have a look at some of the new models coming in this army set. Now, these are the Snarl Cavalry. We've seen the Snarl Pack Riders before.
Yes.
The Snarl Fang.
God, it's just cavalry for days now, isn't it? Games Workshop's just all cavalry.
Wolves with 2 Grots on the back rather than 1. Tell me about these guys.
So these are larger Snarlfangs, as you said, and basically the 2 Grots on the back.
They look fast.
Raise the pot
do.
From birth.
They do. There needs to be some red on there.
And this is one of those rare times
Make them even
whereby
faster.
Grots have to work together, because if they don't, chances are they're going to get eaten, or the boss is going to remove them from play.
How many?
I don't think anyone saw this coming. No, absolutely not.
I love the fact these mods are covered in spears.
I had no clue that this was happening, but
it's just really, really great miniatures for them to charge into combat. Their frazzle
here
burn
comes the cavalry.
Sees them strike first if they're charged, as they glare their enemies out with it, dazzle them with the light that they've stored.
So you'll notice that as a running theme, particularly with the shields, that they absorb the light of Hish, and as they impact into combat, they basically discharge it and blind the enemy.
It's talking of absorbing the light and stealing it. This is the Sunstealer Wheeler.
I need to get that Iron Jaws spearhead, and that will complete an Iron Jaws army pretty much, because I've got Gordrak to do.
No, so these things are made out of wicker.
I've
as
got
you
it
said,
built.
These are supposed to be
No, I haven't got it built. I've got it on sprue, so I need to build it.
The little effigies of Glareface Frazzle Git, they will.
But that plus there's
that light.
Grand Alliance
You've got a
destruction.
flammable chariot there, so eventually,
it's got to happen,
these
hasn't
things
it?
burn up.
I really didn't think
it's
about it.
It's got to happen.
Just wonderful little.
You like these even more than the Krieg? I think they're just as good.
Destruction rule. They do mortal wounds.
And I wouldn't say. Well, I'd say the Krieg are just as nice as these in a different way. But they're just as nice as these.
This miniature is Drogs the Sun Chomper. Looks like a big leader for the Git mobs. Who is this guy, Alex?
Indeed, so this guy basically
brilliant.
led the Git mobs from Hish into Akshi during the Age of Chaos. Now, as you can probably think, that was several hundred years ago.
Yep.
Age of Sigmar, you son of a bitch. You've
done
it again.
He's not very old for a Grot. When the first Drogs got hit by an arrow, his Snarlfang there ran up to the second in command and went, "Go on." and jumped on, and there was a new Drogs. And there has basically been a continuation of various Grots that have taken on the role of Drogs throughout history.
So his Mount Jagged Snarl is actually the one that's been keeping things together.
So he was born in Hysh under the light. He's really intelligent, and he's lasted a very long time. Really, he's the boss.
Super intelligent wolf. I'm so here for it.
Once per battle, you can use the Time to Scarper rule, where these nearby friendly units can run away from combat they are already in, which is nice. Really love this miniature. Really
Model of the Year contender, well. maybe for
not
next
quite
year.
As heroic as the miniature would seem, which I like.
You'll notice something in the background of this artwork here.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Flying up in the sky. Look at this. It's the new Gitz Doom Diver Catapult, a wonderful recreation of a classic Games Workshop miniature, the Doom Diver here. We've seen it in Warhammer for 30 years, and here it is with these wonderful interpretation. Huge as well.
Absolutely perfection.
Grot on wings and get inside this thing.
For a Grot to volunteer to be part of the Doom Diver crew, we've got to put a lot of emphasis on the word volunteer there. Rarely does that occur. So basically, he straps on wings, he puts on a metal helmet that again has absorbed the light of Hysh, so upon impact, it explodes.
That's devastating. I love the fact there's a little tiny snotlink at the back on the mechanism.
10 out of 10, no notes. No notes, Games Workshop. 10 out of 10.
They're the most expendable of Grots.
I love it. The actual damage it does on the battlefield represents how big this miniature is. It's a monstrous shooting attack. It does 4 attacks, rend 3, damage 3.
Can't fix perfection.
What's nice
exactly.
is you can re-roll the hits representing the Doom Divers trying to sort of use their wings to careen into the
I want all of it. Games Workshop.
It loses
if you're listening, I hope you are.
It's just a really nice little
give it to
narrative piece and a wonderful
stuff it in my face
piece for your Gitmob's army. Let's have a look at some heroes on some chariots. This is the Snarl boss on a war wheeler. Some Snarl bosses prefer riding ostentatious war wheelers, it appears.
Chariots worry me when it comes to painting, because I think I have to just accept at this point that you probably have to do them in a sub-assembly.
You can get yourself a war wheeler. They tend to have the best gubbins, the shiniest things. And as you can see, his belly.
I only have one question. How many Doom Divers can I fit into 2,000 points? Probably 4, but you won't have much else. I would guess that it's going to be like 300-400 points.
It's also part of the same kit. This is the Frazzle Git Shaman. Little wizard there.
That's
on top
fantastic.
Of a giant skull. Why is he so high up, Alex?
So
sub-assembly, that's heresy. I know. Normally, I would agree. But
and he's hoping that by
I mean, we get through it every time, but it's always stressful.
He might get a little bit of juice. But
does it work?
Well, that's debatable.
However,
being up there
these are unbelievably
really good. Line
good.
of sight, he can see over the mists.
This is Games Workshop just flexing there. This is the AOS team just being like, hold our beer, everybody.
What a wonderful, wonderful piece. Now, there will be a Gloomspite Gitz spearhead on the way, a very snarl-themed wolfy spearhead. It's not going to be released for a little while yet, so hold on for that one, folks. But just know it is on the way. But don't forget your current Moonclan spearhead.
Good.
All those horrible rock trogloths.
My bank is going to kill me so far. I'll buy Krieg, Orruk, and Iron Jaws day one. And Emperor's Children is still in the closet.
Let's have a look at the battle tome as well. The last thing we're going to talk about here, the whole new book, everything you want to expect from a battle tome.
Oh, yes.
In the Mortal Realms, packed full of lore, who the Gitmobs are, covers.
It's a very pretty battle tome, that. I like that cover a lot.
There's something called a squiggle.
It's like the Slaves to Darkness one, the limited one that came in the Slaves to Darkness army set.
Squigs, why not? That sounds fun. Painting guides in there too, loads of rules for all the units, and your Path to Glory rules let you raise a Grot or Troggoth hero through the ranks of the Path to Glory, which is just great.
That's very cool.
Really, really cool.
So I think we might.
As we've got some stuff coming from the Black Library.
We do indeed.
Black Library stuff. So I think it's probably sensible that I spend some time in December building some of the many Moonclan Gloomspite Gitz that I have, and getting some videos done on them, getting prepared. Another Minka Lester novel. And more to be revealed. Black Library Celebration, February 2025.
So there we go. It's the Black Library Celebration. Of course, happens every year, but this year's a little special, isn't it?
Yeah, so we're getting an entire week rather than, a day or a weekend. So we've got a huge range of books coming. As part of that, we've got Imperial Infantryman's Handbook.
That one's actually coming out alongside the Krieg stuff we saw before, a little bit before the celebration, but we'll talk about it now anyway.
Fun.
What is this one?
And so this combines the Uplifting Primer and the Departmentum Unitorum Handbook, basically in one solid tome. This one is slightly Krieg themed, so this is previously owned by a trooper.
I like it.
By the quartermaster, and eventually will be redistributed.
Spoiler alert: my Tales entries are all Gitz related.
Of course,
I would expect nothing less Goblin Horde.
Repackaged this nice little book, new version, and of course, don't let the Commissar see you without your copy. Of course. What else we've got coming for the celebration?
So we've also got the Art of Warhammer 40,000, which is over
That'll be a nice
200
book.
pages of beautiful images. We've got Outer Dark and Red Tithe from Robbie McNiven, which we've seen before. These are the Carcharodon Astra books, but these are returning in special editions. We've got the Shade of Cain, which is basically Malaneth. Gotrek's companion has deserted her post and is free now again in the world. She can't return to the Agents of Azir. Gotrek doesn't particularly want anything to do with her. And the world has changed a great deal since she departed. And this is basically her trying to make her way through. We've got Hell's Last, which is the next in the Minkalesque series from Justin Hill. We've then got
I need to paint my
Gotrek
Minkalesque
and
miniature.
Malaneth Omnibus. Now this puts together 8 novels and short stories of Gotrek's adventures in the mortal realms, and it comes to nearly 1,000 pages.
That's a mighty tome.
Yes, so if you're looking for something to read early next year, those Dark Nights, this will keep you going.
That's fantastic stuff. Of course, there's more coming for the Black Library celebration, but we'll reveal those on the Warhammer Community website at some point soon, for sure. There we go. That's been a wonderful preview. We've seen some really cool stuff there.
Have we got any more stuff?
We've seen Old World, we've seen Death Corps, we've seen those new vehicles for Horus Heresy, we've seen the Age of Sigmar stuff, of course, both the Orc War plans and the...
I'm going to ask you the question, as I always do. Who do you think wins, guys?
Calendar.
Oh, yes.
Now, normally that would be enough for a preview, wouldn't it?
That's a lot.
It's quite a bit. But it's Christmas. We're feeling quite generous. So here's some more stuff.
More stuff. Here we go. I saw some high elves. This is going to be silhouettes. I don't think it's going to be anything immediately obvious, but we'll find out. Swooping Hawks. Who'd have thought? That must mean Baharoth on the way as well. There he is, Baharoth, Phoenix Lord Baharoth. Very nice. Warp spiders. They don't have a king. Oh no, they do. There he is. Phoenix Lord Lick Kiss. Well. Blimey. Now they are fractured. Fire dragons. Predictable. Surely we're going to see a Karandras one now. We already knew about that one. Karandras, come on. Assaman. They're just doing all of it then. You can stop complaining that the Eldar haven't had any new models, even though they've had loads. No Karandras. Interesting.
From the webway, the Eldari have returned.
Here they are. We've been sneaking and teasing about them. We've mentioned a few things.
Yeah, and we've seen that Fuegan model before.
Yeah. But finally, the entire Eldari are here. And I tell you what, Alex, there is a war host
No
of
Karandras.
miniatures coming our way. Let's take a look at what we've got. Now, you've mentioned Fuegan. We've seen him already a little bit
Fuegan,
before.
that's how they're
This
saying
model
it.
is just absolutely
Because I've heard it
beautiful.
said
Tell me
so many
those
different
watching,
ways, I've never
who
been
is
sure.
Fuegan? Why is he a big deal?
So he's one of the Phoenix Lords. And these guys were basically the original exarchs of the Aspect Warriors. And every time they die, another one takes the armor and basically takes the
Hold on to your butts for 40k balance.
Exactly. All this experience. And Fuegan the Burning Lance, he basically embodies the act of oblivion that could bring peace. Because they all embody a different aspect of Caleb and Shakain, the god of war.
So he's like, when he's playing 40k, Fuegan's like, if I kill the entire enemy army, there's no more conflict anymore.
Yeah, there's peace.
Great. I like that guy. He carries his custom Firepike Seer Song, the most devastating melter weapon.
I mean,
in
I'm
the
looking
game,
forward
pretty
to
much.
painting it.
Strength 14,
know.
damage D6, melter 6. It's just
If they send it to
amazing.
me. They might
And
not
his
send it to
big
me.
axe as well. Don't get near him. So
We'll have to
near
dig
him
out the
fire is a
striking
problem.
scorpions.
Just a wonderful miniature and really nice to see.
Do a
Sculpted
revised
banner as well.
version. Because
Yeah,
we've already,
sculpted banner. Good to see
just
that.
in case
But
you
of
were
course,
wondering,
Fuegan
on the channel
leads
there is
the
already
Fire Dragons.
2 tutorials on how to paint
plastic kit.
all of this.
So these guys, again, they embody that idea of destruction.
Yeah.
What's the wind resistance on those handles? High. Very high.
They've got the intuitive ability to understand where to shoot to destroy an enemy war machine or tank, and the Exarch there in the middle. The Exarchs also have some past lives involved in their armour, is able to do that for even tanks he's never seen before.
That's so cool. There's nowhere to shoot it.
Yep.
They're in a soft spot. That's fantastic. The whole unit carries fusion guns.
But that's what I mean.
Are melter weapons. By another
Colonel,
name, really.
we already have a
If you
tutorial
want
for
to find
swooping
some other
hawks,
cases for
striking
Space Marines, these guys
scorpions,
have a
warp
similar rule
spiders,
called the
fire
shield disruption.
dragons,
They can
shining
reroll
spears.
everything.
We don't have howling
So
banshees
they're
or
gonna
the
kill
dark
what they shoot
reapers. I
at.
do need to do
What's
those.
really nice as well is there's a new weapon option for the fire dragons. Fire dragons, they've got flamers. So they can have flamers too as well. So don't want to take a fusion gun, maybe have one there for maybe persuading your opponent not to come anywhere near you.
You want fusion
and the
guns.
Exarch has different weapon options. He can carry the giant fire pike or even a dragon axe for devastating close combat attacks too. So there's a really nice plastic kit with lots of different options in there. Really nice to see.
I'm
them in
guessing
plastic.
those swooping
Also
hawks are
coming
more
in
stable than the
plastic.
metal
More
ones.
aspect, whereas
Almost
the
definitely.
Swooping hawks, these guys look drastically different. Alex, tell me about these.
They're
So
very different
these
to
guys
what I've
basically wear
painted. So they would
incredibly
be
lightweight armor, and you can see
good
the
candidates
wings
for
they're
a
able to
tutorial.
take to the air and give that aerial support. They can scout out.
It's
a
an
little bit.
interesting
But what
grey
they
they've
like to do
gone
is they
for.
like to go
It's
really
basically
high up. And so
Dark
if you're
Reaper.
looking up, there's just this tiny silhouette above you.
Or maybe
that
it's finally
strikes down
used for the fang.
and wipes out everything.
That's terrifying. I don't like it at all. They are carrying las blasters, which is a lovely little blast back to the past of Aeldari. They shoot 4 strength, 4 shots apiece. They can drop grenades on people as they fly over as well. And the Exarch has a choice of lots of different weapons, including the Sun Pistol and Power Sword, which you can see the model carrying there. They're just a really cool utility unit. And Alex, they're
Swooping
all
hawks kill
standing on
team.
hero.
No, because they're getting their
Gives them a nice
Baharoth.
little, level of dynamism.
Cry of
Really
the
beautiful
Wind.
models in that iconic teal armor color scheme are just great to see. But of course, they also have a Phoenix Lord, and here he is in plastic. This is Baharoth.
Yes, Baharoth, the Cry of the Wind. He trained on Azuman, as all the Phoenix Lords
hate
did.
that,
He
I
was
knew
the first
that.
of their kind. And Baharoth was the first to basically
That's very pretty.
master the abilities of aerial combat.
That's why he's got these big old beautiful wings on the back there, and he carries a terrifying weapon called the Fury of the Tempest. It's like a super duper Hawk's Talon
very
weapon,
pretty indeed.
and he's just devastating. A great model having your force makes your swooping Hawks even more agile. He can help them fly off the table and come back in strategic reserves later on, which is lovely. Just a beautiful miniature and wonderful on table as well. It's worth mentioning that all these Phoenix Lords are both devastating in shooting and combat. While you might think this guy's specialised in... No, they're all just good at everything. But then that's Aeldari, right? You mentioned him before.
Classic.
Let's have a look at this. This is Azuman, the Phoenix Lord of the Dire Avengers, and what a miniature that is.
He is absolutely
very
brilliant.
nice.
He was the first.
Hopefully
of the
you have
Phoenix Lords
Asaman blue
who
with which
basically
to paint
mastered
Asaman.
all of Kane's sort of aspects of war and taught the other Phoenix Lords various elements of that. So they each embody one aspect of it, but it's Azuman that kind of embodies that central doctrine of battle, that calm, strategic mind.
Asaman's face is a bit off, right?
The other Phoenix Lords, he's absolutely devastating on the tabletop too. The bloody
I
twins,
don't mind
his personal shuriken weapons there are damaged too, and the sword of
Well,
Azuman,
based
he
on that
carries a
Baharoth
6
model,
attacks,
Adam,
a
you wouldn't want to
strength
use
6, AP3,
Baharoth blue on
damage
it.
3. He just cut Terminators in half with a single sweep. And fair, he's been around for a few hundred years, so he knows what he's doing. Just a wonderful miniature and a great model on the table.
Good
and
luck painting
another
that
sculpted
banner.
back banner.
That's all
I'm here
sculpted
for.
detail.
I love those banners. Coming alongside these releases is the new Aeldari Codex as well, and it's a bit of an overhaul for the Aeldari here. Now, we expect new rules and detachments and things as we were before, and new lore and everything as you'd expect to see in the book there. But there's a couple
gonna
of things
be
worth pointing
busted.
out here. First of all, the Strands of Fate rule they had before has been replaced with a rule called Battle Focus. Strands of Fate use those dice
Battle
to predict
Focus
the
is
future
better.
as a Farseer might do. But Battle Focus instead teaches your force to move more with more agility around the table. So really playing on that Aeldari aspect of being super flexible and super fast, which is nice. Don't worry though, Strands of Fate is still around, but only in one of the detachments, the Seer Council detachment.
So that'll be the
It's
one everyone
changed a
uses.
little bit. Now, talking of detachments, there are 7 in this book, which is really cool. Going from the War
7?
Host, the Wind Rider host. If you want an army of Wraiths,
Blood
it's
Angel's
there
got
for you. If
3.
you want an army of Harlequins, they're in the book as well.
Plus
which
the
is
7
nice
they're
to see.
allowed access to
And
already.
the really one I wanted to point out here is the Devoted of Your Need, the Yanari units, because the Harlequins and the Drakari units you can use in the Aeldari forces are in the Codex itself.
Interesting.
So all the Harlequins, all the Drukari in there, so you don't need to worry about bringing, other battle
Three
codes.
books, yeah.
It's all solidly in.
It is indeed. It does mean that the Aeldari Codex is a hefty tome.
Chunky.
It's a big old chunky tome, but it's all in there in one place, which is really good to use. And yeah, be excited about that. That's really cool.
Eldar still have life. Colonel, come on.
Who saved what we think
Eldar.
maybe the best to last, because there's one.
As Rich put it,
so
so
warriors we haven't seen in plastic, and here they are.
so
It's the warp
eloquently.
spiders. Alex, who are these guys?
So these
Balance
guys
is about to
basically
get
embody
screwed.
The path to victory through defence. They're incredibly tough, but they're also, they've got a fair bit of
They're
shooting
much
and
nicer
combat
than
in
they
them.
used to be.
However, their main trick is with
Much
those backpacks.
nicer.
They're able to jump into the warp very briefly and essentially teleport somewhere else.
That sounds dangerous, man.
Yeah, they can arrive unseen. However,
Much,
Eldari
much
souls
prettier.
are really in demand by Slaanesh, and so just
Again,
any time in the
tutorial
warp
already
whatsoever,
on the channel.
it's incredibly dangerous.
Yeah, those warp generators that they carry on their backs give them a rule in the game called flicker jump that reflects what you just said, and they can move across the battlefield up to 24 inches, which is monstrous. And they all carry
won't
a
fall in
Death
Mantella.
Spinner, which is
They
basically
won't.
a souped-up flamer. So imagine the utility that has on the game. But of course, if they use that warp generator,
Guarantee
to do that
you,
flicker jump,
the
there
day
is, as
after
you
these
mentioned,
come out,
some
you'll
risk
see
to
people
the
saying,
unit. They might not all make it
Games
out
Workshop
alive,
never shows
which
any
is
love
cool.
to
The X-Lar's
Eldar.
got loads of
We
options
need
here. You
plastic
can see
aspect
they've got Power
warriors.
Blades and the old Death Weavers there.
Apart from all of
Other
them.
options include the Spinneret Rifle and a whole bunch of Power Blades where you can get up to 10 attacks for your Exarch in combat, which is great.
Different
Even though they
Craft
can't
Worlds
charge,
tutorials
you
for
can
Guardians
jump
when they drop. I couldn't look at
unless
doing something like that.
You happen to take what
I would
think
need
is
to
my
buy a
favourite
box of
miniature
Guardians to do
of
that.
the release. This is the Warp Spider Phoenix
There we go.
Lord.
That's a
Right.
beautiful miniature.
Tell me about
That's the
Lycus,
best
man.
one
We
of them
have
all.
waited
The other
decades.
Phoenix Lords are
We have.
nice.
Yeah, we have.
So, Lycus, the
But that's
Whispering
very,
Web,
very,
is the
very, very
Phoenix
nice.
Lords of the Warp Spiders, and basically, she's one of the most active of the Phoenix Lords because they're all out and about in the galaxy in various
That's
ways,
very,
shapes,
very
and forms.
pretty.
However, she spends a huge amount of her time in the warp, incredibly dangerous. That is basically the embodiment of Calum and Chicane's willingness to do anything
That
to destroy the foe.
hands down the
She'll
best
appear
one.
on battlefields across the galaxy, unasked for, unaided, and as you said, will accompany a great range of warp spiders to slaughter everything.
Exactly,
straight
Adam.
back in the warp.
Absolutely incredible miniature. I love it bursting out of the warp there on the model itself, and absolutely monstrous in the game as well. She carries
Beautiful.
weave render. That's
It's beautiful
a sword.
miniature, that one.
It's terrifying. And her
And
rule,
this-
if she joins
this
the warp
is my
spiders,
point about
they
40K.
can use the flicker jump
New
rule
models.
and then still charge.
Better than the
You take that
remasters.
Exarch with the extra attacks.
It's a problem. It's a real problem.
Do you see?
yeah,
You
look
see
out
my
for
point?
her coming soon. It's a wonderful miniature. What a way to end the preview. That's fantastic stuff. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, there is loads more information about all of the stuff we've seen here today over on the Warhammer Community website. Make sure you go there for extra pictures, extra information as well. Don't forget to follow us on our social media.
Like, you
If
can
I
do
remember
all
them
of
We've
the
got
make
Facebook,
stuff
we've got
bigger and
X,
plastic. That's
Instagram,
absolutely fine, but
Threads,
you've got to
YouTube.
supply it with a new
Then it's all in
miniature
there.
as well at the same time.
All the latest
And the
information, catch up
Baharoth
with
and the
us there. And of
Fragan
course, we've
models
got
are
some
really
stuff
nice.
coming on
Fire
Warhipster
Dragons,
plus
really
United.
nice.
Yes,
Warp
indeed.
Spiders, very
We've got
nice.
a whole
Swimming
new,
Orcs, very nice
slate
miniatures.
of
They are
shows,
nice
seasons
miniatures.
coming up.
But the
Let's
Warp
get them there
Spider
while we're here, you see, really.
Phoenix Lord,
Thank you all so much
being a
everyone
new
who's behind the
miniature,
scenes helping
is something that
with
you
the
can't
stream.
predict, and
Really
you can't tell me
appreciate that.
exactly how it's
And
going to
if
look.
you're
Because the
there this
Assaman
weekend
model
at the
looks
World
exactly the
Championships
same as
or
the
the
old
Grand
one, but
Narrative
it's just going to be
itself,
taller.
Have a wonderful
Do
time.
you see what I mean?
You're there now. You're there right now. How
Yes.
are you even here? This is crazy. Thank you so much for joining us, man.
'Cause
It's been
this
a
was
wonderful show.
pre-recorded, Nick,
Thank you,
but
guys. And we'll
better
see you
than
next
normal.
time. Happy holidays.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, there you have it, guys. That's the preview stream. That's a lot of stuff. That is a lot of stuff that we've just been shown off. What did you all think? How are we feeling about that? Hopefully this time in a second, I'm going to pull up the Warhammer community, and we'll see if the stuff is actually up this time. It is up this time! Hooray! I forgot, Adam, you dropped a gorgeous 10 gifted Warhipster memberships, didn't you? So we're on 443 now. 7 away from 450. 57 away from 500. If you wanted to get that. Just join. What did I miss, lol? Well, we shall find out together. If you'd like to. Hang around just for the moment. So we'll see if they've actually put all the stuff up. And it looks to me like they have. Apart from the Eldar. So we'll start just here. With the Death Korps of Krieg. So here we go. Death Korps of Krieg are getting an army set. There it is. We have Dreer, the Lord Marshal Dreer. It's a brand new character for the Death Korps of Krieg. Looking absolutely fantastic. We have the Death Riders. Here they are. Let's just scroll up a little bit. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that box. And then we have Combat Engineers. 5 of them. We also have the big old gun, which I'm a big fan of. That one in particular. It has 4 different variants: the mortar, the missile launcher, and the quad launcher there. And we have the new codex as well. But that's not it for the. This is what we missed when the stream died. So we have a commissar. We have the command squad. There they are. That's amazing. Looks incredible. The banner, wonderful banner. They didn't quite thin their paints well enough here on just there, but ignore that. And we have the heavy weapons team as well. There they are. And then we have the standard codex box there. We know what you're thinking, and yes, 3 of these and 6 field ordnance batteries sounds like an excellent idea. It does. It does, doesn't it? This is the army set here. So the army set looks like it contains Lord Marshal Dreer, 10 Death Riders, 1 of the big cannons, and the engineers. So if you want your infantry, you're going to need to buy them separately by the looks of things. I would imagine the Veteran Guardsman sprue is about to make a return as a non-kill team, would be my guess. So that's that. The Grotmas calendar they talked about quite a bit. There's going to be a bunch of stuff for free that comes out. So we've got 30 codex detachments and 8 armies of renown coming for free. So a pile of extra rules for you to print off and try and keep your head around for 40k. How much will it be? Probably 120, 130 pounds, I would guess. Pritters, thank you very much for the £5. They have redeemed themselves with that stream. That's a good stream. The Empire of Man is here. Plastic kits all returning. A bunch of them. These are not new. None of this is new. These are all returning plastics. So it is what it is. Again, more returning plastics. More returning plastics. A bunch of returning plastics for the Empire of Man. We've got some Forge World resin miniatures though. So these are returning resin. These 3 here. We have returning resin here and here. Apparently this one's new though. And then we have a bunch of metal miniatures as well. There we go. A load of classic miniatures all returning. If you love them, then they're back. But not a lot there that's new in terms of the Empire of Man, unfortunately. We also had the Arvus Lighter is coming in plastic. For all of your solar auxilia transportation needs. We also have a gun that doesn't look to have been mounted on anything, but there we go. We have the Valdor tank destroyer. Here it is with the big laser, Valdor laser destroyer. And we have the Malcador Infernus tank is also appearing. And then we have the Doridio, apparently is how they're pronouncing it, with the Volkite weapons, missiles, and gigantic las cannons. The Anvilus pattern not found on the Ambulus pattern. Instead, we have the Arachnus heavy glass cannon battery. Yeah, there you go. It's basically Derideo weapon sets, 1 and 2, which is cool if you like that kind of thing. We had the Orruk War Clans. The Dorito Dreadnought, yeah. The Orruk War Clans are the next battle tome, so of course we were going to see that. But there we have it, the new battle tome. They have the Hobgrot Slitter Boss, there we go, with 2 alternate heads. This one I prefer, the one on the right with the eye patch, rather than this one. The eyes seem to be weird on this one. But there you go. We also have this amazing, the Scaregob Totem, or Boss Rock Tower, because you could build this 2 different ways. 1 or 2. There you go. 1 for your Crawl Boys, 1 for your Iron Jaws, which is very, very, very cool. We also have the Orruk manifestations as well. So, endless spells for your Orruks. And then finally, the Spearhead is here for the Orruk, for the Iron Jaws, which looks amazing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 Ard Boys, 3 Weird Brute Wreckers, and 5 Brutes, as well as a Mega Boss. So I just need this and them to do this, which is really cool. Then we have the... I think these guys might have stolen the show if it wasn't for the Eldar. The Git Mob Army set. So inside this we have... what's his name? Drogs. So we have just unbelievably sexy miniature right there. And then we also have this. It's the same. That's the same miniature. Yeah, same miniature. We also have these guys, whose names I don't know. Giant Snarlfangs. There we are. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We have some chariots as well. We have the Gloomspite Gitz battle tome, but also the Doom Diver catapult makes a return in glorious, wonderful, AOS-sized rendered plastic, unbelievably sexy miniature. Here it is, and then we have more chariot characters, including this guy, which is my favourite. I love that. And there's the battle tome. 40k demons are going single god only was my take on what they said. Yeah, I mean, what I suspect when the Chaos Demons, because those are going to be 4 new detachments for Chaos Demons, but there will be a new, that doesn't mean that the old one goes away. And then when their book comes out, it'll still be the same thing. You'll probably get the same 4 that have just been renamed and the relics shuffled around, plus an undivided one. I don't think they're going to be that restrictive with it. They don't want to do that. And then we had the Black Library releases. Shade of Cain, a Malineth Witchblade novel is coming. Gotrek and Malineth, the omnibus. Hell's Last, the Minkalesque novel. The Silent King, a Dawn of Fire novel. Art of Warhammer 40,000. Red Tithe, Outer Dark, and Void Exile are all coming. Carcharodon's novels. And then finally we had the World Championships preview, Aeldari Phoenix Lords. So we had the Fire Dragons are getting a plastic kit. Who'da thunk it? We have Asaman is getting a plastic model. Again, this is no different to its current model. It's just going to be bigger and in plastic. Baharoth is different. But again, bigger and in plastic. But Baharoth is coming, as are Swooping Hawks. They look very different to the video that we've just seen. That is a different blue entirely. And then we have this absolutely beautiful Warp Spider Phoenix Lord, whose name was Lycus or something like that. But just behold that miniature for a moment. That's just a beautiful model. That's just beautiful. And then, of course, Warp Spiders. Warp Spiders in plastic. And there you go. That's it. It doesn't look like Karandrus is getting a model, unless that's Karandrus back there. No, those are just Striking Scorpions, aren't they? Those are just your bog standard Striking Scorpions. And those are your Dire Avengers that you've already got. After this, it would only be Karandrus that would be the only one that's not in plastic. There you go. That's everything. That was a big preview. Maleficent Ruler, thank you very much for becoming a member. That's very kind of you. That puts us on 444. We are 6 members away from 450. Is there a Jane Czar? Yeah, Jane Czar already has a plastic miniature. As do the Howling Banshees and Morgan Ra and the Dark Reapers. They're already in plastic. As are the Shining Spears. They're already in plastic. Only missing the tanks. But the tanks are fine, aren't they? I mean, do they really need redoing? You know? Well, only you guys can decide that. I personally prefer new models. So my favourite one there is the Warp Spider Phoenix Lord, out of all of it. That was exciting. No plastic Dire Avengers. They are already plastic, the Dire Avengers. Wish we got new Grey Knights. I suspect that'll happen later in the year, Tengu Monk. Favourite AOS and for Old World model? I mean, my favourite Old World model that's been released so far is Younggrim Iron Fist. That was a beautiful model. Unfortunately in Forge World resin, but there you go. Nothing you can do about that. None of them for Empire, because none of it was new. Don't care about it. AOS... Honestly, the Orruk terrain. Orruk terrain, probably my favourite of the lot. I really like all of those grots though. The Doom Thrower is probably a really big highlight. But there we go. Lots of great stuff. It was a good preview. Did you like that preview, guys? I liked that preview. Who won, 40k or AOS? Of the two, the big hitters. I suspect the Eldar pushed it to 40k. Horus Heresy. I think 40k finally won one. The Krieg are really exciting. Again, a lot of it is redesigned, but there's a couple of new miniatures in there, which makes it more exciting. The Aeldari getting a Phoenix Lord for the Warp Spiders is a huge deal. That's the best one. You fall in love with Sun Goblins. Like it. But there we go. That was good. That was good. That was good stuff. Good evening, Marshall. The question is when's it all going to drop? I think it's January onwards. I don't think there's anything left coming out for December. Well, I could be wrong, but I don't. They said that there weren't any more codexes or anything coming out in this year. It was coming out next year. So who knows what's coming out? But I mean, I guess we'll just have to see, won't we? For Aeldari, do you have to paint them in their warrior aspects paint scheme, or is it allowed always to paint them in your craft world color scheme? I don't think it's I don't think anyone has a problem with it painted. You see it all the time, painted in craft worlds, craft world schemes. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to do them all different bright colours. Unless it's Bale Tan, and then I think you do. Because Bale Tan, they are all different aspects. I think. I'm not really up on my Eldar stuff. December should be the new MESBG edition. Well, one can hope. One can hope. That would be very nice if it was. We shall just have to cross our fingers and wait and see. But who can possibly tell? Not me, because I don't know the answers. But as soon as I do, I still won't be able to tell you because I have an NDA. But as soon as Games Workshop tells you, I'll then be able to tell them at the same time. What's been your favourite model to paint this year? Oh, honestly, I don't know. Iridan the Witness was amazing to paint because it was really, really simple. Probably that. That I would say. But I've painted 512 miniatures this year, so they're all lost in the weeds for me a little bit. I'm just kind of waiting for the end of the year. I've got another 88 models to do to get my goal of 600. So I've got 30 days in September, April, June, and November. I've got 39 days to get 88 models painted. So we'll have to see. I'm expecting Soulblight, maybe some new vampires. We don't know when Soulblight will drop. Possibly next year. We shall see. We shall see what happens. Anyway, guys, I ordered the Nurgle box for Christmas. My goal next year is going to be learning to paint Maggotkin. I also ordered the Nurgle box because I need it to finish off my Maggotkin of Nurgle army. So I'm looking forward to that turning up. I do need to order some primer. That's one thing I've forgotten to do today. I need to do that after the stream. So I think we'll wrap things up there, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on this preview watch-along show. We have 138 likes on the stream. Unbelievable. 37 new members. Very, very generous of you guys. I really appreciate it. It's because of people like you, all those gifters and all those people who became members out there, that keep the channel alive and afloat and the lights on and keep me well fed, so that I can paint 512 models in a year. And do over 150 videos, because that's what we're going to end up doing this year. We might even get close to 200 videos. We shall see. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. There is a painting video for you tomorrow, but I can't tell you what it is. You'll just have to wait and see. You'll find out tomorrow at 7:30 PM GMT, UK time. I'm going to raise the hand of farewell now, and I'm going to wave at you, and I'm going to tell you that I love you. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now. Love you. Bye.